Hello, Chrissy from Footprint Tarot here. We're going to do a bit of a check-in on Ivanka and Jared, just to see what's surrounding them at the moment. I will be doing my usual check-in spread, which is the overview spread. And I think first we'll do Ivanka, and then we'll have a look at Jared. So, do Ivanka first. Okay, the flavour of the reading. Queen of Swords. It could be that Ivanka is going to have to talk to somebody who represents justice and words and thoughts and the truth. So that could be the New York State Prosecutor or the Southern District of New York District Attorney. We'll just have to wait and see. Her significant at the moment. Oh, Four of Cups. So she's been made an offer that she's not very happy with. She doesn't want to look at it. She'd rather focus on the things in front of her and totally ignore the cup that's being held out to her. Her current influences. Well, the Seven of Cups. Lots of different choices, clouding the situation, trying to maintain an illusion. I think I'd go with the latter two, trying to hide things. So many cups to choose from, and so many places to hide things. So I think she's definitely influenced with trying to hide the truth. That's definitely a big influence on her at the moment, and cloud the situation and confuse it. What's above her? Wow. The Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth. That's hanging above her. I think she is going to have to face up to some very hard truths very soon. So we will just have to wait and see how that goes. The near future, the Lovers, perhaps herself and Jared, something involving the two of them, or partnerships that she's made with people, or having to, part ways with Jared in one form or another. I do get an idea that maybe there's going to be a bit of a separation there, not because they want it, but a forced separation by somebody else. That's just what I'm reading off the card. I might do a clarifier on that, because it could mean just partnerships with somebody else that are coming about too, or that's going to become known as well. What's underneath her? What she doesn't want to think about? The Page of Pentacles, offering money, or I think I pulled this card with her father, and I think it was in the same position, I'm not sure. The Page of Pentacles. She's not as smart as she thinks, and she doesn't want to believe that. That's in the position of what's below her, or what she doesn't want to think about, is that she's not as smart as she thinks she is, and she's not as smart as hiding things about money as she thinks she is. Her recent past, Five of Swords. She was working to win at all cost, win the battle. She wanted victory over whatever the situation was at all costs. So that's what she's been doing in the recent past. She's been trying to find a way to win, and she doesn't really care who she takes down along the way. And she's trying to get away with things. And this is also a card of abuse of power. Now, I have no doubt, just from watching news articles and everything, that she did abuse the power of her position in the White House, and possibly is still doing it, since this is in the recent past, or possibly more things have come out about her abuse of power. So what is the next step for Ivanka? She's going to be at a crossroads. She's going to have to make a decision. I think I'll very quickly just grab a couple of qualifiers on the Lovers card. I love this deck for clarifiers, because it's just, you know, just pretty upfront and straightforward. Let's have a clarifier on the Lovers card. The Chariot. Victory, travel, movement. Perhaps her and Jared are planning to try and move themselves away from the situation. Maybe try and get away overseas. I'll have to pull one more. Six of Swords. Yeah, I think this is the transition. This is a difficult journey and a transition. So I think there's definitely going to be movement. Either they're going to try and get away together, or they're going to be separated. I think it's probably the latter. I do think that Jared is in an awful lot of trouble. And I'm going to have a look at him briefly in just a couple of minutes. So I'll do one on the what's next on the Two of Swords. Ooh, whatever different decision she makes, this crossroads moment, it's going to lead to the end of something. Could be the end of her father's presidency. It could be the end of her marriage. Could be the end of her freedom. Whatever it is, whichever way she goes, I think it doesn't matter which decision she makes. I think it's going to lead to the end of something for somebody, the end of a cycle for somebody. Yeah, I will just put those back in the clarifier deck. I'm going to swap decks and use a different deck for Jared. So I'll just give this a bit of a shuffle there. Different decks speak to me for different people. I've not always used this deck for Ivanka. I've used other decks for her. It just depends on the reading, and when I say speak to me, I just look at them and I think, oh no, this is the one I think I should use for this. So this is the Neo Tarot. Relatively new deck of mine. Yes, I have lots of decks, and I do like to use them all. Different situations. The mystery deck, the historic event I'm looking at the moment, I'm using the Steampunk Tarot and the Everyday Tarot for a clarifier with that one. So if you're interested in historical mysteries and everything, I have posted the first two in my series on the Chappaquiddick incident with Teddy Kennedy, the car accident that he was in 1969. So, okay, Jared, let's have a look at the bottom. Oh, the Fool. Wow, I think in this instance it's not either of the two, confidence or falling off a cliff. I think it's just, he's just been a colossal fool. It's as simple as that. And he's going to probably continue to be a colossal for making the completely wrong choices and ultimately paying for them. Okay, so what's the situation with him? He's at the Two of Swords too. He is at a crossroads, having to make a decision. Now, a lot of people say the Two of Swords, when you're talking about a relationship or marriage, it's to do with divorce. But in this case, if he and Ivanka get a divorce, I don't think it would be for lack of love or things. It just might be, he might think it might make it easier for her to get on with her life. I don't know. That yeah, so it's interesting that that same card came up in two different decks for two different people. So current influences. The Seven of Swords. He's trying to get away with something. He's trying to sneak away, get away with something. He's strategizing. He's being sneaky and trying to get away with something. So, what's above him? What he does, what he wants to think about. Well, he might not want to think about this because what's above him is the Eight of Swords, imprisonment, in a prison of his own making, I suppose. Notice here that the figure is tied up with their own hair, and you know, they've put themselves in that position basically, and yeah, so it's very interesting that card has come up hanging over him. So I did say before with Ivanka that he is in an awful lot of trouble, and I think that he is soon going to be separated from his family by means of being thrown in the clink, I think. That rhyme was not intentional. Okay, his near future. He's going to require a lot of strength. He's going to have to show a lot of strength. And yeah, that pretty well speaks for itself. He's going to need a lot of strength in his near future. What's below him? What he doesn't want to think about. The Nine of Cups. Now this is interesting. This is wish fulfillment card. That it's below him and it's what he doesn't want to think about. I think that there are an awful lot of people out there who want this man in jail. Who want them to lock him up and throw away the key. And this being below him, this being what he does not want to think about, it is possibly that the wishes of an awful lot of Americans with regard to him are going to come true. Again, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. In his recent past, the Page of Swords. Delayed or disappointing news. He's received some pretty disappointing news, I think. And yeah, it's not made him too happy. And you know, I think being a page, the disappointing news, that's the start of a process, basically, and I think it's the start of a legal process. That he's been told, get your lawyers together, get your defence together. I think that's the news that he was given. The next step for him, the Page of Wands. Orator, messenger, new investigations, messages about investigations, new ideas. I think he's going to have to come up with a lot of new ideas and talk a lot, try and talk his way out of the pickle that he's in and try and come up with a lot of creative ideas. And that I also think that somebody is, I also look at this as a tattletale card. It's an orator. Somebody is telling. I don't know why I look at it as a tattletale card, just that somebody's bringing news of an investigative nature. So I think that's the next step in what's going to happen with him. But I might do a clarifier with that. All right. Oops, that jumped out. Let's have a look, eh? Three of them jumped out. Oh boy. Yes, all the elegance and style form. Now we have Six of Cups, nostalgia. He's looking back. He's going to be looking back. Or someone's going to be looking back, looking at the things done. The King of Cups. You know what? I have always seen the King of Cups as Donald Trump. I know a lot of people see it as Putin, but for me, it's always been Donald Trump. The King of Cups at his worst is emotionally unstable, childish, and drunk on power. And to me, that just sums up Trump. Somebody's going to be looking back at the dealings he had with Trump, or for Trump. And the Seven of Wands, of course, is the stand your ground, defend yourself card. So he is definitely, the next step for him is going to have to talk, stand his ground, defend himself against whatever comes out that he's done for Trump, whatever past deeds he's done for Trump. That's the way I read it. If you disagree, if you read it differently, that's fine. That's just the way that I read it. Thank you very much, and I will see you for the next video. If you like what you see, if you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. Thank you.